Welcome back, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the thumbnail. I thought it was quite comical that the load screen in-game was a Valentine's Day load screen featuring HMS ships, when of course we all know during the Valentine's Day live stream they announced that the next event is going to be Russian. HMS ships be like, Suka, bля! If you want to be the first to know about the new Russian ships, subscribe to the channel, and I will be doing a English translation live stream early in the morning, and we will be the first to find out. Anyway, this video is actually about reruns. If you've noticed in this most recent rerun, things have been a little bit different. This new model of how we're going to do reruns is called by Yostar Light Reruns. This is how reruns are going to work in the future. We talked a little bit about this previously after the Christmas stream. This video explains what we knew back then, including the new roadmap to 4 URs this year. And during that, their mention of the short rerun concept made me confident that the 4 URs per year would be obtainable for new players and free-to-play players. Now we know the specifics of how short reruns work, or at least how they work now. There's nothing to say that Yostar and Manju can't change the mechanics a little bit. My guess is the only changes they would have would be ones that benefit the players due to maybe backlash or, things that aren't optimized perfectly. So let's talk about what they are. First things first is the shipbuilding support tickets. These are what allow you to pull event ships or event polls without using cubes or coins, allowing you to conserve those resources so you can save up to your 400 cubes every UR event, which means that we need to target, because of the new schedule of URs, 400 cubes every 3 months. Now, if we assume that you can get 33 cubes from missions per week, as well as maybe up to 60 if you count commissions and the new cruise missions, we should have the 400 cubes per quarter. This, of course, means that you shouldn't be spending much cubes above the bare minimum. And of course, we're going to be having events. I spent a ton of cubes trying to get the Chinese ships in the Lunar New Year event. And so with that in mind, we might actually be back under the 400. You don't want to be spending any cubes on reruns. Or rather, I should say, you don't want to spend a lot of cubes on reruns. And so these tickets, which allow you to not have to spend cubes on reruns, are going to be crucial in the mathematics of whether or not you can expect to get all of your URs in a year. We currently have 32 total available to us in this event. I assume that that's going to be pretty standard going forward, but hopefully that increases. We get 6 from login, we get 8 from daily victories, 7 come from first clears of each event stages, 6 of them come from cumulative points ranging up to the 9,000 marker, 5 come from the event shop that you should definitely purchase. So with that in mind, that saves us 64 cubes, which is actually not bad, but not as much as I thought. I thought there was going to be a potential that we could actually grind them, that maybe they would drop from B3 and D3. This would allow us to spend oil to get some and really help people trying to level up to spend during the event to get pulls without having to use cubes. Overall, 64 cubes, I am not complaining, or am I? One of the big changes that I noticed is that these rerun events are 1 week. 1 week only. When these events first come out, they are a week of prelude to practice and prepare and give rest to your cubes to save up, and then 2 weeks of the event. And remember, before we were saying about 60 cubes per week if we're getting lucky on commissions and we're playing actively every day and doing all our missions and going through the cruise missions and all the good stuff. 60 per week, that's 120 extra cubes that you're missing out on from the prelude as well as the second extra week. And that isn't made up for by the tickets. Also, burnout is a real thing. Rerun events are really nice for veteran players like myself because, honestly, I need a break from Azur Lane sometimes. I might do, bare minimum logins on some weeks, and I really try to make those weeks be the weeks that are, down weeks. If we're not going to be having prelude events and we're not going to be having longer rerun events, those take out weeks where I get to kind of relax, and then I can grind a lot during the UR events. So, honestly, not only is it going to be less cubes, but it's going to be more burnout. Of course, in the event shop, all of the stuff is available. This is really nice, actually, but it's all at the same prices. This means that what normally you would have 2 weeks to get to in terms of the cumulative rewards and the event shops, you now have 1 week to do it. To compensate for this, they gave 5 times points on the first clear of regular event maps and 3 times points on first clears of the hard maps. This sounds like a lot, but keep in mind, before, rerun events would typically have 2 times clears on hard modes and 3 times clear on regular modes anyway, so it's not a significant boost, and it's only on the first run. After the first run, you're back to 1 times. So if you want to grind out D3 or B3 or whatever it is you are, you're going to be stuck at the very slow accumulation pace. So in order to get the same items from the shop, you're going to have to spend twice as much oil to get them, which, for example, during this most recent Russian rerun, there are some really good important equipment that you should definitely pick up. Also, why are these PR2 prints? In past reruns, these have been automatically upgraded to the most recent research, which in this case would be PR4. I don't know if Manju was just preparing for Lunar New Year and forgot, but those should definitely be upgraded. And last but not least, I think it goes without saying that there are not going to be any added new ships to these light reruns. We're not going to have like a new SR and an Elite like we typically have in the past. This means that veteran players are not going to be required to pull on banners they've already completed. This is great for veterans, but this doesn't help new players catch up. But definitely very helpful for someone like me who, might not want to waste a bunch of cubes on one SR ship that I'm getting solely for collection and fleet tech. So this part is kind of nice. It does save our cubes for the veterans, not so much for the new players. So with these measures in place on what we know is a light rerun, I'm going to say this is one of the first times that I've seen in history of this game that Manju and Yostar came out with a mechanic that was a little bit worse than advertised. Of course, I don't know personally the exact schedule for the year of 2022, but something tells me there's going to be a lot less downtime than what we've had maybe last year. Some people might think this is great, new content that keeps people alive, and I do agree with that to a point. But you can't have it speed ahead so fast that you have veteran players burning out and you have new players never able to catch up, perpetually behind. So while I think the best solution to this is to have the light reruns last their original 2 weeks, maybe we don't need the preload and we just get the 2 weeks so we have plenty of time to do the points for the event shop. We get 2 weeks, which should be about 120 cubes, plus the extra 64 that we get from the tickets. That'll be fine. And we get a little bit of a break for people who have already gone through the event, don't need to grind it, and everything should be hunky-dory. So that would be my ideal way to fix this. However, I'm sure the schedule is pre-planned all the way out. You got to do a lot of work ahead of time for them to release everything that they do. So I'm sure the rest of 2022 is pretty much scheduled at this point. And so assuming that you can't change the schedule around and everything's packed tight, the other solution that I could see is adding more of these ticket vouchers, having them be available to drop from the map so you can actually grind for potentially a lot of them. And definitely looking at the event shop, and if you're going to be running it still 1 week, cut those prices in half. This would make it easier to buy out the shop without going crazy ham. And for people who have never had the event, they can go crazy ham and have those tickets drop at, I'm assuming D3 and B3, and that they can get more than those 32 and potentially not have to go into cubes, because the rates are not any different than they were the first time. So you're still going to need probably at least 100 pulls to get the whole banner in certain situations, unless you're really lucky. So the light rerun is a concept that was good. It was thought as an intention to help with having 4 UR events per year and not having the cubes, dry up, and having, newer players be able to still get their reruns and stuff. And so I like the intent. I'm just saying that right now, the way it was implemented it's okay. It's not bad. It's just, I guess I had higher expectations, is what I should say. And that's really just because Yostar and Manju has done such a good job of taking care of us in the past. I was just like, oh yeah, they're going to take care of it. And I think it's a great start. I do think the next time that they run around, I think they should tweak some changes. That's all I'm saying. But I'm still very excited to see what our 4 URs are going to be this year. Will Russia get one? I'm not sure. Should HMS get one? They definitely deserve one. Please. Please. I don't even like HMS. I just feel pity for them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care until next time. And I hope to have a lot more content coming out in the next month or so. I was, kind of took January a little bit slow. But thank you guys for sticking around with me. I super appreciate it.